Hey guys, it's Michael Crockett. If you don't know who I am, I built a 6-figure short-term rental business in just 14 months. I'm here with my buddies on a podcast. We're talking about all things about business, starting your own short-term rental business, being a successful leader, AI, all kinds of weird, crazy stuff. But if you like the content, you like what you heard, please give us a like and subscribe. It really helps me give you content like this more consistently. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's how we got started, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to kick it off?
Yeah, you can kick it off, man, and then I can.
Yeah. And then I kind of want to be
let's
dialogue.
Yeah, banter.
Yeah. So, gosh, I guess real estate. Honestly, I never imagined myself in this space at all. I was working a 9-to-5 corporate job that I absolutely hated.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the people, but I just hated the business of it. I was working in health insurance, and I just had no passion in it. I was really good at it, but I had like no passion at it. Mm-hmm. So that acknowledging that I just was not happy at my job, that helped feed my ability to find something that I was passionate in. And it happened to be traveling, right?
Okay.
And so I traveled a lot. And then I was also very like business minded, right? I love traveling, having fun, and escaping the world of the 9-to-5 work. But I also like to make money. So one day, I was traveling, and I bought a house in Sacramento, and all this time I was traveling away from the house. Of course, I'm not making any money, and the house is just sitting empty. And I always use like Airbnbs when I travel.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Why don't I try this host thing? I earn some extra money, help pay some of this mortgage for a house that I'm not even using. So I tried it. And not only was I making money pretty fast, it was exciting. And it was something that I was really enjoying doing. Just because the people who came to see my space, who came to stay at my place, I'm an artist, I'm a painter, and they always like, we love your art. The stuff that you have in your house is really unique, it's so creative, we can't wait to come back. Mm-hmm. And that like fueled me even more. It's like, wow, you're acknowledging something that I love to do as my hobby. And that's exciting for me. I'm sharing a space with you, and I'm making money. So I was like, I gotta do more. I gotta do more of this.
Yeah.
And that driving me to like want to do more helped me like grow and scale the business. I remember thinking about how am I going to be able to come up with 20% down payment on another house, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I found out about the arbitrage strategy.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, how do these people have 10, 20, 30 listings? Are they buying all these houses? No, they're using this arbitrage strategy. And I was like, I'm gonna look on YouTube and I'm gonna find out how to do that for free, right? Because I didn't want to pay for the education. And so I just became this connoisseur of all this free information on YouTube, looking at like the Sean Rocky Beach videos and all these other hosts who were doing incredible things within their Airbnb short-term rental and arbitrage space, and I just copied them.
Yeah.
I learned something from them, copied it, rinse and repeat. I went out there and started pitching landlords and property owners, hey, I got this great concept, this great idea for hosting these really creative spaces, and I want to do it at your property. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to pay your rent because I have a proven concept already in my own house. Mm. And that just fed my enthusiasm and my drive to just make it like a successful business. And so, gosh, I guess within a year, I had 4 properties under my belt, and I still hated my job. I hated going there even more because I was a one-man show doing everything at work, but then I'd come home. I'd go on my breaks, on my lunch breaks, and do the turnovers. Like a turnover, of course, come and clean after someone was staying at the property. But you can only do that for so long before you're burnt out. You can have all the enthusiasm and drive in the world and make all the money in the world, but if you're doing it by yourself, you can quickly burn yourself out. So that's when I decided to start to bring on people to the team, to make a team, so that I could continue to do it. And then I reached a point where I was like, you know what? Screw this. I still hate my job, like with a passion. I'm gonna try and do this short-term real estate thing full time.
Yeah.
And so I got to the point where I say this like it's a bad thing, but actually it's completely legal. I basically stole every concept that I learned in corporate America about leadership, building teams, building processes and running them, and just put them into my hobby and into my real estate career.
Right.
And all of that structure just helped me build the business that I have today. I just took everything that I was good at, that was of value from my job, and I put it into my business, into my side hustle to make it my main hustle. So ultimately, one day I reached a point where I could just leave my 9 to 5 and do real estate investing full time. It was scary as fuck. I remember the day when I was putting in my notice, my heart was racing, but I really believed that if I had stayed there, I would not be able to do the thing that I was most passionate about, which is making money through real estate.
Yeah.
And that, you know, even though I was really scared and terrified to do it, I would make that same decision day in and day out because of what I have now, the freedom that I have to basically be my own boss, to provide jobs for other people, to make really good money and scale this business as big as I want it to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Teach people, right, how to do it themselves, give them hope that they don't have to stay in a job that they absolutely hate. They don't have to be unhappy. They can be a business owner. It's very possible, especially here in, you know, this wonderful world of America.
Yeah.
It's very possible to do it. So that's what I take every day now, that motivation that I had, that little seed that I had in this world of unhappiness, working that 9 to 5, and I help other people feed that, so that they can have that opportunity too.
Absolutely. And you have how many employees right now?
Yeah, so our team now, gosh, we have about 9 or 10 people on the team, give or take, and our portfolio is now over 35 properties, and we are just we're just now onboarding, Kevin knows this, our first boutique hotel in Amador County.
Property, yeah.
Yep. So I'm really excited about that. This sector of real estate investing has just allowed me to kind of grow and expand. There's no ceiling. That's what's cool about too, being your own boss. There's no ceiling.
That's right.
Yeah. Kevin knows. So the boutique hotels coming on board. I was just up there yesterday. It's gonna be an awesome property. You got a pool, sauna, cold plunge. It's just.
Oh wow.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'll be the first guest.
Yeah, exactly.
Free charge though.
Exactly.
I'll pay for it. Yeah.
My team keeps asking me like, "Are we gonna do a retreat up there?" And I'm like, "I'll get back to you on that."
So, really quick before we move forward, is from going into a residential into a hotel, what are the operational difficulties? Is there anything that's going on that you would want to talk about, like specifically for hotels versus residential?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think getting into the boutique hotel space is completely different from like your regular residential short-term rental home. This is actually one of the first properties that we're going to be managing remotely. So by remotely means that the property is not readily accessible to us. It's probably about a good 45 minutes away from a core team. So a lot of the operational lift in getting it ready for hosting has been to set up those automated processes as efficiently as possible. So what that means is, on the property physically, there's a lot of signage that's in place to kind of guide guests through their experience without us having to be there to handhold them and tell them, here's the front door to your unit, here's the code that you need to use. By the way, here's the pool, here are the pool rules, and here's the towels that you need. So a lot of that is kind of baked into the communications and the information that's even on the website about the boutique hotel, so that people can self-serve as much as possible. Similar to short-term rentals, of course, there's going to be a manual in each unit, so people will know what the Wi-Fi is, how to turn on and off the heat and things like that. But process-wise, it's just a lot more just on-site information that's available to guests. Obviously, some similarities, are consistent regarding like access. So there's, of course, key code system for entry to the doors. We have cameras, of course, on the property. Usually in our residential homes, we have the one front door camera, but on this property, we have cameras out in the complete exterior, so we can see at all times what's happening at the property. even yesterday, we were out there doing simple things as like painting the parking spaces, right? Because before, it's kind of in a rural area up in the hills. And when we first got it, there's like no parking spaces outlined anywhere. Pretty much, you can park anywhere you wanted to. But we know as operators, if you allow people to do that, quickly causes a mess and disorganization. So yesterday we were out there painting lines on the pavement. So anything basically that you can do to add structure to the flow of someone's experience of the property, we're implementing as systems in the property now. So obviously all the communications are going to be automated. If they do have questions, they're kind of one-offs. My team, I have a VA, a virtual assistant, who's going to be there to be able to respond to them and give them information.
Right.
Everything that the guests are going to need to have a good, pleasurable stay is on site at the property. So towels, even detergent to use the washer and dryer, coffee, tea, all those basic amenities, all of those are there. And on top of that, because it's going to be managed remotely, we are going to be using a local team, a local cleaning team.
Okay.
Of course, that's going to be able to do the turnovers for each of the rooms as people check out. But another important part of having a good cleaning team and someone local, even in the cleaner, is that you have eyes and ears still. If something one-off weird situation happens, then we can leverage that cleaner to be able to go to the property and take care of what needs to be taken care of. So we're not completely removed from it, but we are taking this as kind of our first run to be as hands-off or as automated as possible.
Yeah. Automated Airbnb, so.
Automated, yeah. And to that point, this is also kind of a pivoting point for us in the company. You guys know as operators, Airbnb has kind of been our bread and butter. Verbo's been sprinkled in a little bit here and there, right? But with the hotel space, it's a bit of a different customer, a different guest avatar that we're working with.
Okay.
So for that reason, we had to diversify platforms even more. And what that means is we're going to be not only featured on Airbnb and VRBO, we're also going to be on Expedia, right? We're going to be on your Booking.com. We're leveraging a platform called Guesty, and Guesty is going to give us exposure to all those other platforms that people normally use for booking hotels.
Full integration.
Yeah.
From all the listing platforms.
Yep. Significantly more marketing exposure. With the boutique hotel, we're actually going to have our own direct booking site.
Okay.
Which is different than like putting a house on Airbnb, because Airbnb does like so much free marketing for us. And over the years, we kind of just get used to that. It kind of is not necessarily we don't take advantage of it, but it's kind of like a luxury that we're used to. You just put any house or apartment on Airbnb and automatically you're getting fed bookings.
Yeah.
But in the hotel space, it's a little bit different because those types of customers that book hotels, they don't typically use your Airbnb or even your VRBO.
Right.
So you have to add your product to different platform. Kevin, you kind of know about that, don't you guys use multiple platforms?
No, I don't run a boutique hotel like you, so that in itself is like pretty new to me. I kind of dabble with Guesty in the past. I feel like the platform itself is like really, it's got all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
It's taking me a lot, of getting used to. But I'm sure that it's a very powerful platform, and especially when you're operating a boutique hotel, you need to optimize or take advantage of all the platforms that you can get into, and Guesty is probably by far the number one solution in this space to do this. I think they're the number one, right?
We did a lot of research.
Multi-channel platform. Yeah.
They kept coming up as like number one. It was like, they have multiple different features. I think for us, the market presence was going to be the most important because we wanted to make sure that we get eyeballs on our listing.
Yeah.
They have support for a direct booking site. They have all of the automated messaging integrated. They even have pricing software.
Yeah.
And what was really important for us, which is something that we haven't been able to leverage effectively over the years, is the ability for the clients that we work with to be able to have their own portal, right? Their own view.
Oh yeah, that's
to
huge.
Track revenue, to track
reporting.
bookings,
Yeah.
to reporting. Because for me, as a small guy who used to work corporate America, I was really good at like Excel, like Microsoft-based Excel programs. So a lot of when I started taking on clients, a lot of the work that I was doing to produce statements for them was like cranked out of Excel-based formulas and things that I built in Excel. It's great, but it doesn't give them a lot of visibility, right, into like the bookings and the revenue, but also it's extremely manual. So Guesty like automates a lot of that work.
Yeah.
So after finding that part out as part of their features package, I was like sold. It's done.
Yeah,
it's a done deal. Yeah.
And it can support more than 40 units, which is really nice. And
Yeah.
it's one of the best systems, I think, when you're looking at revenue, looking at a different add-ons you can put on, like Booking.com, Guest, or Expedia, all the other different add-ons that you can have on Guesty, plus having all that integrated in the calendar, so you never have a double booking, has been really helpful for our business. But I think it's a time saver because of the automated messaging as well. So as like a small short-term rental company with 5 units, initially we were just trying to hit up every single guest coming in, and then it would be like, like this is way too much message traffic, and they have a million questions. So the automated, messages, at least for check-in, check-out, and then all the random stuff that happens in between, we can attend to. But yeah, I think Guesty's going to be our platform too for a while.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the messaging system that's native to like Airbnb? Like the canned responses. Have you guys used that?
I have. I've done the quick responses too, and I'm like, Wi-Fi? Boom, quick response.
Do you like them though? Like, cause we tried that in the beginning too, but I found that it was just a little bit clunky, and that's why we brought on Hospitable pretty early on. I felt like there was more like features, more like sophisticated tweaks that you could do other than like the canned messaging and Airbnb. Did you guys ever use the Airbnb canned messaging?
I've never used it.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're so behind in technology.
Oh yeah.
And that leaves a lot of rooms for other like multi-channel software like Guesty or Hospitable to really take advantage of that and make it so that they can create like a blue ocean of opportunities for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're just like, it seems like they're not as good as the guys who just make it their core business. Same thing with the pricing. Like we tried
Smart pricing on there.
And it was never smart. It was like,
it would just be like there's a high price, lowest price, and it would just be like going up a little bit, down a little bit. There's no like actual strategy.
Yeah.
Like what you get. What is it? Price Labs? Used to?
Yeah, we use Price Labs now and have used it for a long time.
We switched from Beyond Pricing to Price Labs.
So we. Yeah. Why did you guys switch?
Well, we switched because Beyond Pricing is charging clients based on a percentage. I believe it's 2%. So if you're making a lot of money, they're gonna make a lot of money as well.
2% goes.
Yeah.
It's like 3%.
Whereas Price Lab, it's fixed pricing. So you only pay, I think, $15 per listing. So it doesn't matter how much you make. On top of it, it's yours to keep. It's not like they take a percentage of it.
It's just monthly.
It's just poor charging structure, basically.
I hate that when like companies are like, 3%, 2%, 1%. Like, man, just charge me a monthly. I don't get it, but I mean that's how Airbnb became a $1 billion business, right? So many transactions a day, 3%. That's a lot of money, man. So.
I was noticing that on our smart pricing too is like more geared towards making sure that you get a booking. So like lower nightlies, it seemed like on average.
Yeah.
Because of course every time you get a booking, then they get money. So it's not really it doesn't really seem like it's more about getting you the maximum on that nightly. It's more so making sure that you get a booking.
So they can make their money on there.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's the corporate America, right? So,
Yeah, exactly.
so what about you, Kevin? What was your background, and tell us a little bit about your current business.
Sure. So my background is in tech. I got actually a PhD in computer science. That was not really what I wanted as far as like just getting out there and taking risk. Like I'm a very risk taker, a big risk taker. I did it because, you know, growing up in an Asian family, you know, that's the directive from the parents. Hey, you got to get the highest degree because I didn't get it. You know, we immigrated from Taiwan. Yeah, you know, they're all about higher education. As a matter of fact, you know, my previous relationship, you know, the parents side, they're all like into, hey, I want to make sure that you have an engineering degree or you're a doctor, or a lawyer, right? So they're trying to match all that.
Tiger dad. And
Right. So she happened to be an ophthalmologist. She wanted to be a nurse. Parents were like, hey, you can't be a nurse. You need to be a doctor.
Damn.
So
It wasn't good enough?
it wasn't good enough. But that's not where your passion lies. I realized like later on in my life, you gotta go after your passion. Otherwise, you know, you're just gonna be stuck in that place and just live like, you know, the rest of other people.
Yeah.
I call it the masses of asses. Right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you're just gonna be zombies.
Yeah.
Like just like everybody else.
9 to 5.
You know, 9 to 5, wake up, get your cup of coffee, and then go to work, and then spend like 8 hours there. You know, getting that paycheck, you know, every 2 weeks, and then come back home, you know, take a nap, go to the gym, and then repeat, you know, next day for the next 5 days, and then hang out with your kids, you know, for the weekend and whatnot, and then just live that for the rest of your life until you're 65, you're ready to retire, and then you live for another 10 years, maybe less than that, like my dad. He was ready to retire when he was 65, but he got so bored. He played stocks and then lost all the money to the stock market. And 2 years later, well, he died at 67.
Oh, wow.
He didn't have anything to do. He didn't have anything to live for.
No drive.
Yeah, there's no drive. It's so sad. So I didn't want myself to be like that and get that, you know, there's so many podcasts out there, right, about entrepreneurship and so forth. You know, that kind of just like got into me, and thank God, like we have so many people like you guys, right? That's their like, you know, grinding, hustling, right? So there's other opportunities out there, and I feel like, you know, it's up to us to really just spread that message and really just pay forward to let the young people, the kids know, hey, you can do whatever you want, right? There's that blue ocean of opportunities. You just need to go after your passion.
Yeah.
Do you find like, because I'm really a big believer in that too, and like, it's scary sometimes for people to do that. You know, you have people who are just like been coached or conditioned to believe that living a certain way, you go get your 9 to 5, you work, and then you go home, go to sleep, rinse and repeat, have your family, and then wait till you retire. Do you find like it's really hard to like teach people that there's other things out there that are possible? And not only teach them, but like also see them take action.
Well, for me, this is just me. I learned the most when I made the mistakes. When I you know, get to make mistakes. So I always encourage my employees. I mean, I'm not like actively encouraging them to make mistakes, but take on risks. It's okay to make mistakes, but don't make the same mistake over and over again. What's the lesson from the mistake that you made, right? And you don't make that mistake again. And actually, by making that mistake, you're way ahead of everyone else because you're basically breaking that boundary. You don't know what's on the other side. But until you break it, you make a mistake, you know that this is not like a boundary that you should cross, or this is a boundary that you can cross and create opportunities.
Yeah. I think that was like, you probably agree, like that was probably one of the reasons why we're like able to be successful in this business because I think a lot of people are afraid to make those mistakes and to cross that boundary. And it's really like, it's really a lot about like mindset. And it's like how you can adapt yourself to be okay with failure, knowing that you're going to survive that failure and do something to make yourself stronger coming out of it. Yeah. I think every business person like has to adopt that type of thinking.
Yeah.
And also the thing is, I was just reading this book. It's called Self-Made Billionaire. Okay. And there's a study that's done between a billionaire and like just an ordinary person. Like what is their level of risk? And in that book, it says that the billionaires, they're actually not risk takers. It's just the way that their perspective of risk is different. Like, hey, so there's this lady, she produces paper or something in China. Okay, the business is actually it's becoming increasingly difficult that she had to go outside of her country in order to find another supplier. Okay, she could just like stay in China and do the same thing for the next 20 years, but her business is gonna like become smaller and smaller. So she took the risk, okay, to the outsiders. That's a big risk. She came here to this country, find like a bunch of like paper suppliers. There's a bigger market from the recycle of these paper. Like US is all about like recycling paper and all that.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay, so she started exporting the recycled paper back to China, and she became the biggest supplier to everybody else. Like back in China, looking at her, this lady. Are you dumb? Why are you quitting your business to go to another country? She didn't speak a word of English. Wow. And then she had so she's the supplier to her company in China, and now it's kind of like she's her own supply chain. Yeah. So that's like it wasn't risk for her. It's almost like, hey, I kind of have to do this in order for me to survive. And to other people, it's just like, oh wow, you're moving to a different country to create like a separate business or brand new business. No, it was a calculated move for her, and it's almost like, hey, if I don't do it, my business is going to die. Yeah. It's just a matter of time. So how do I actually do it, just so that I can survive? Yeah. Not only did she survive, and the business actually flourished as a result of it. Yeah.
Do you guys think that, in that instance, she was so disciplined in her mindset, like, hey, I know I'm going to make it in America. I know I'm going to be able to find the right people, the right network, and then create a business? Or do you think that it's by luck? Or what do you guys think? Is it a little bit of both? You think every single day you have to make those small decisions to make yourself the best person, and then you can create a business? Or how would you describe that?
I think at the very core, you have to have a plan, right? Yeah. Even if the plan looks crazy, you have to be able to have a plan in place. That way okay, if my plan says I need to go A to B to C, that you understand what it takes to get from A to B to C and have a plan written out, right? Right. You got to be motivated to execute it, and most importantly, you have to actually do the plan. It's not enough to talk about it. I talk to a lot of people, even if you want to get into real estate, want to invest in stuff, but they talk about it and they don't take any action. I'm like, man, you made this plan. Like, we had a plan together. You were all excited about it. Yeah. But it's been a year. How come you haven't made any progress? And it's because you haven't executed your plan. You haven't taken any steps. Right. So I would say, it may be a little bit of luck, but it also has to be your willingness to take steps towards completing your plan, not being afraid of risk, right? Because everything you do that's different, that you haven't done before, is going to be risky, right? Because you're a novice. You're not an expert doing it. And then you just have to be committed, right? Yeah. So Yeah, what about you, Kevin? What do you think?
Do you ever always find like people who are successful are lucky?
I think there's one in a couple of people. I'm like, I don't know how they made like $1 million last year, but it could be. I don't know.
I believe that luck comes to those who are prepared, who are ready. Right. And I believe that luck is given to everybody. It's just it's just a matter of how you take it and how you run with it. Yeah. God help those who help themselves. So hey, if there's help, there's an opportunity that's dropping on a lot, but you're not able to take it and run with it. Yeah. I mean, give that same opportunity to someone else, right? Who is hungry, who is able to make something out of nothing. That's the difference between somebody who is a go-getter and somebody who, hey, sorry, it's just, and then still complaining about, hey, why am I so unlucky? You're just missing it because you're just letting all the luck, dropping, slipping through you. You're not seizing the opportunities, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's interesting because there is I think it's always a story about you can put two people in the same environment, like it could be the worst area in the city. One person can do really well. One person can let that environment really affect them and change them and who they are. So yeah, I guess it's really how you are able to respond to anything, how you're able to respond to your environment, how you're able to respond to, hey, I need to start from scratch to build something, but I'm going to put my head down and use that discipline to keep growing. Point A to B, B to C, C to E. So that's awesome.
Plan, man. You gotta have a plan in place and write it down. Write the plan down and the steps to each milestone. Yeah. Because there's a crazy thing about like wanting to do something and being a dreamer. I often meet like a lot of dreamers who are really enthusiastic about something that they want to accomplish. Really enthusiastic, just like their excitement kind of rubs off on you. Yeah. But they don't have a plan to reach that goal. They haven't thought about how to get there. Maybe it's their first arbitrage property. Maybe it's buying their first home. Maybe it's their first boutique hotel.
Yeah, it's always. I'll talk to you about it in a little bit, man. Yeah. Hey, let's talk about it sometime. Never. Yeah.
Every time I see those people later on, months, years, they still got that same enthusiasm, but they got no closer to their goal because they didn't sit down for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and write down their goal and write the steps to get there. Every single day, you could take at least one step towards your goal, and you will be that much closer to accomplishing it. But if you're just talking about it, you're not going to reach the goal.
Doors won't open.
Nope. You're not going to be ready.
Yeah.
Hey, this is coming from a bodybuilder, former bodybuilder.
Okay.
How can he become so fit? Okay. He got to write down the plan and execute the plan. Okay. Make sure that he's following his meal plan down to the T, right?
Dude,
in order to get cut, to get that percentage, he tracks his micros, his all the numbers. Yeah. And once you get into the habit of following the plan, I mean, once the competition is over, that becomes your lifestyle.
Yeah, we'll put in a photo of my stage, stage pose.
That triangle back right there, and the lats, bro.
I'll tell you, man, that competition, that bodybuilding thing, it had really a lot less to do with actually being a bodybuilder, but more so challenging myself with a goal that I wanted to do something that I'd never done before. Yeah. And prove to myself that I could actually fucking do it. Yeah. That's what gets me excited is I think of something out of thin air and be like, oh, I could never do that. Or but it'd be exciting and cool to do it. Yeah. But then actually make a plan and actually do that shit.
And do it. Follow through.
It's no better feeling. Yeah. Like that day I was on stage, after those months and months of training, it was almost like I was standing outside of myself Like, dang, I really did that shit.
Yeah. Dude, you know,
Come on, bro.
that's
So
awesome, bro.
how'd you go from, hey, looking at it and say, this is not possible, to, hey, this can be possible, and I can see myself doing it?
Yep, you know what?
Visualization.
I think, yeah, that's a really good question. For me, every time I start something, I gotta be excited about it. And that excitement, that little sputter of something that I'm smiling thinking about it, that is what I feed. Because I know that enthusiasm, that drive to accomplish it will keep me through the plan, right? So once I start feeding that, once I start making a plan, once I start making milestones, once I start talking to people about it, that drive starts to grow. It's feeding it, right? And the reality of accomplishing that goal or being on that stage or whatever it is becomes that much more real to me. It's not impossible. It is possible. You make yourself feel like, I feel like a tiger when I accomplish a goal. I'm like, dang, I really did that.
It's a rush of endorphins.
Yeah, it's like an
Dopamine.
adrenaline, but maybe I'm an adrenaline junkie.
The more you do it, the more possible that it becomes too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're raising the bar every
Every day.
single time, yeah.
Yep. You realize what you're capable of. You're capable of much more than just dreams.
I
Much
think
more.
my, I think the equivalent for that for me was commissioning in the Air Force, man. I'm thinking about like the same feeling, like getting my bars as a second lieutenant in the Air Force on the USS Midway in San Diego. I was like, man, I visualized this ever since I was little. I always wanted to be an Air Force officer. My dad was like in the Air Force for 20 years, and then he was like, man, you need to join the Air Force, see if you can make something of yourself, you know, be an officer, maybe fly a jet or two. But throughout the process of ROTC, like getting out of high school, I had like a 2.8 GPA. I was like the dumb Asian kid. I was not the smart kid. I was the one smoking dope, just not doing the right thing. So I went to San Diego State, and the guy was like, the colonel was like, yeah, if you can get your grades up your first semester, we'll let you on and walk on ROTC. I was like, all right. So first year of college, got a 3.3. He's like, okay, that's good enough. You can try out for ROTC. Your first year is your tryout year. Second year, you're going to go to field training. Third year, you're going to be preparing for officership. I was like, all right, cool. So first year goes by. I did really poorly in ROTC. I was like ranked bottom third because they rank you by, you know, you're against your peers essentially. So once I started to see that, like I was like, hey, I was failing because I was working a full-time job. I was in a fraternity. I was doing ROTC. I was like, you know what? I really have to focus on one thing. I'm focusing on ROTC, really dug deep. Started like treating the cadets around me like family, like got into a really good group of cadets who like would wake up every morning, train. We did a thing called an extended training exercise, 3 days rucking in the woods in San Diego. You know, you're tired, depleted, everything around you is just hurting and your body's like about to collapse, but it feels like you gotten through like Navy SEAL training as like a, you know, 21-year-old. So I was like, man, this is really cool. That kind of solidified like my willingness to like push. And then once that third year came, I was ranked like top third in my class and started getting into like leadership positions, like cadet lieutenant colonel of like a medical group, which I was in charge of fitness for 200 cadets, right? Wow. And then getting them prepared for the yearly physical fitness exam or physical fitness test. So, and then, you know, lots of setbacks. You know, my dad had cancer all throughout that, and then he started to, you know, really deteriorate my last couple of years in ROTC. But, you know, getting on that USS Midway platform with the bars and then that certificate was amazing. I just felt like, like Flutter, I was like, I could keep doing stuff like this over and over in my life. It doesn't matter what, but I know that just seeing that visualization as a kid, like I'm gonna be on that stage because I've seen other cadets and I've seen lots of people graduate and commission on the Midway, and I'm like, that's gonna be me one day. So it's weird how it goes, man. Like when you visualize it and you take those steps, because there's a couple times where I could have stayed in instead of done training, woken up at, you know, 8 o'clock instead of 5 a.m. I could have, you know, skipped out on a class and then had my grades drop. But really just pressing in and finding that discipline. And in that case, it was finding that discipline because my dad, every single day I saw him fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he can fight stage 4 lung cancer, I can fight every day to make it to this goal, because I want to make him proud. I want to make my mom proud, my family proud.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful, man. I love hearing stories like, you know, what I can see right now is going to happen.
Yep.
And it's visualization, really. Visualization and the discipline to create
is a
it.
big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when it gets hard, that's when discipline's like, oh man. You just have to make it like a consistent thing that you're not afraid of, and that's a regular part of your program, because shit gets hella hard, right? Like whatever business you're gonna start, like shit's gonna go wrong. It's gonna be
He's gonna kick you in the shins. Yeah, you're gonna be on the sidewalk, like
you're gonna be crying against the wall.
yeah, crying against the wall. Especially in this business, there's always something. But
I know. It's always just coming in here for before filming today. Someone's calling me like, "Hey, there's no keys in the lockbox," and I'm like, "Because the guest is still there." And I'm like, "Come on, you guys! I told you I needed like 2 hours to do this podcast." But it's always something every day, right? Every day there's some little thing. That's why having like a team is really important, right?
Yeah.
To reach your goals. A lot of times you can't do it by yourself. You guys know, where we are in our business, there's no way we could have done this by ourselves.
It's about the support system and your team,
yeah. Team, discipline, all that stuff. It's like hand in hand.
What do you guys think, what it takes to be a good leader, a good employer, or a good boss to your employees?
I think not first, but importantly, you got to be a good motivator. You got to be able to motivate not only your team, but you got to motivate yourself. You got to make sure every day you're getting up, hey, let's get ready to attack this day, because I know everything I do today is going to be on my plan. It's going to get me towards my goal. And then you got to transfer all that like riled up feeling to your team, to your people who are going to help you accomplish that goal, because sometimes it gets hard, like we just talked about, being disciplined, getting up at 5 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. That's real hard, because I'm not a morning person at all. But you got to be able to motivate people and yourself. Yeah.
I think it's at the end of the day, it's making sure that people know that you care about them, and making them feel like their work matters, because if you have a certain goal and that person is only there for the paycheck, they're not going to want to hit that goal with you. But if you create essentially like, hey, I care about you, we both care about the mission and this goal, let's do it together. Instead of being that type of person who's like telling them what to do, constantly micromanaging, being there and like looking over their shoulder. It's like you have that trust, you have their commitment to the goal together, because they know that, hey, this guy's always going to be there for me. He's going to make sure that, I'm feeling motivated, but also feeling like, hey, he actually cares about me. Because that's a big thing in the Air Force is no matter, where you're at, you'll have those people who really care about you. And then you have those people who view you as a number. Like upper leadership will always view you as a number, because they have a mission. They always have a mission. Right. But your direct supervisor, they'll probably want to get to know you more, learn about your life, learn about your wife and kids, all that stuff. So I think like just being a leader in our business right now is, I try that so hard, is really talking to my employees, figuring out what are their passions, how can I bring out the best out of them. So it's, definitely just trying to get down and really connect with people. So,
How about you?
To me, it's kind of like similar to you, is to figure out what they're truly passionate about and try to fulfill that for them as much as possible. I have one employee, she's kind of like me in the sense that she's not, like me in the sense that she wants to learn new things, and I feel so stressed, because I feel like there's this task, you got to do this task, and this is a monotonous task, right? You got to do it well because this is what I hired you to do. But then there's also other opportunities, right, that I have to go and research and then really just get the processes, right? All the, lay out the points so that she can follow. The thing is like she cannot do that due diligence. I have to do the research, present it to her, and that's a new thing that she can actually, take ownership. And then before I can like just go on to do another thing, and then give that task to her. I feel like there is, because at the end of the day, like that's how I grew, like kind of tired of my W-2.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel like I was growing. I wasn't learning as much as my boss tried. But there's like 20 people under him, right? He's got 20 reports. There's no way that he is able to babysit everybody and tell you and ask you, hey Josh, what did you learn today? How can I help you to learn new things? What would you like to learn? I'm going to try to provide that best opportunity to you, right? And I feel like it's really just up to me to really try to figure out to the best of my ability, like what is it that you like to do? And I'm gonna try to create that for you, right? I'm gonna try to match that for you. Because if you cannot pursue what what you wanna do, you're either gonna leave, right? And or you're not optimized for this position that I hired you to do, right? So that, and also what else can I take care of for you outside of your job? She was looking for a loan. She was building a house in the Philippines. So I lent her some money because, I even told her that, hey, you can just pay me just come up with an installment plan. I'm all for it.
Kevin, I need a
I
loan.
want to help you. I want to help you. I want to help you, and I don't want whatever that is outside the job to become a stress for you, right? So that you're not able to do your job well because you're constantly thinking about that financial stress that you have outside of work.
Yeah.
So I want to alleviate that as much as I can, and I'm treating it as family, and that's why I think there's this great company where he's actually in Cali, like Central California.
Okay.
This Greek guy, Alex, I don't know, some Greek guy, but anyway, of like 25 years they're in business, they're in real estate. There's only they only have like a attrition of 50 people. That is
that's crazy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. People have been there for like 20 plus years. He would just walk down the aisle and say, because somebody was crying. Okay, this lady who's been there for a secretary who's been there for 20 years was crying because she couldn't afford health care for her daughter. She was crying. The boss found out from the supervisor. He walked to her desk and just said, how much do you need? And the problem was solved. And she ended up being there for another 20 years. She was with the company the whole time.
That's so powerful, man. You earned significant loyalty from like
Big time.
helping people
Big time.
reach their goals or solve their problems.
And I realized, because I was in a tough time before in my W-2. I had a previous relationship that didn't go well. Couldn't talk to anybody. My boss, like you mentioned, right? We're just treated as a number. I felt like I was treated like a number. I was given a task to do, and I have to do it. But when your mind was thinking about something else because there's something that bothered you, a hardship, a breakup, I wasn't focusing on the job. I was focusing on how I can get myself out of that hole, that darkness I was in. Like, in the back of my mind, I tried not to focus on that, but I couldn't. and there's nobody that could help me, and I couldn't really disclose that to my boss.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you
It's
bring
like
up
gray
personal
area.
stuff and like,
I'm like, yeah.
can you still come in at
I was
10 tomorrow?
crying inside. I was like, I was seeking, for some kind of help.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know like it was proper for me to like actually discuss that with my boss.
Yeah.
But I wanna have like an open door where, anybody can come and then just talk about whatever issue that they're going through. Whether it's like, that's why always when I have a group meeting, one-on-one, I ask them, hey, how is everything? Like, is there anything else that I can help you outside of work? Because that's super important. If I can help you on that, outside of work, I think that that's my best investment in you as a worker, so that you can do your job well, on the job.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to start doing that.
Yeah, that's really good.
One-on-ones.
Because, those, depending on what it is, like a problem with your relationship or a personal life, that can really affect how you perform, like, on your job. And so if you help someone, I love that, you reach out to someone, help them, like, identify what their problem is or what their issue is, and even if it's outside of work, help them mitigate it or solve it. Man, not only are you helping them, like, cope just every day, but probably their team performance will significantly improve. And you're just earning a lot more loyalty from them too. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a phrase in the Air Force is mission first, people always. You're always going to be there for the people and their families. You're always going to have that mission together to take down. But I think with people, if they really are not feeling well, or that mentally it's like a struggle, like they can't produce good work, they can't produce quality work. So helping them out is an investment for their future work. So I do really like that. I'm gonna it kind of disconnected me from like what I've been doing, and now like seeing how you guys kind of talk to your employees and make sure that they're good is making me feel like I need to step it up a little bit.
Tell me what your day is like as a boss, as a leader.
Yeah. So right now, since we have the different branches, so we have a San Diego Airbnb company here in Sacramento, Denver, Colorado Springs in one, and then Florida. I generally allow my COO, which is my business partner, to kind of run all the daily operations. What I do essentially is ensure that anything that is like major gets taken care of, like any major Airbnb complaints, any major guest needs, especially here in Sacramento since I'm the main like manager here. So I'm on my computer for a couple hours checking all the emails, and then I have usually some tours, or I go out, meet people who are within this community because I want to really grow Sacramento. And then after that, go back home, finish up with a meeting or two, but it's not like as like in depth as I want to with my employees. Like it's very like, hey, I'm going to allow you guys to do your jobs and I trust you, but it's not like, hey, what can I do to really help you in like whatever you're going through? Like I haven't had that interaction, so it's been like this for a couple months. I need to kind of get back to how it was in the initial stages of the business, where it was like, yeah, how can I help you? Because it was like three of us. Like how can I help you? And it's just three of us, so we need to make sure that these three people work together. But now it's like, almost 10 people, so it gets a little bit difficult to catch up with everybody.
Yeah, especially as your team grows, it's probably even more important, right, to keep that kind of relationship with them, because you're dealing with so many more people who are doing so much more work for you. So it's at the core, it's like helping them helps you reach your goals in your business. So it's counterproductive to not do it, but it's also harder, right? Because there's so many more of them versus you. So, you're like, You're like, wait, you're allowed one problem only to talk about with me right now. Not all your problems. Like, what's the most significant one? I'll help you with that one.
So what is the worst when you're like doing something, and someone gives you a phone call, and you're like, hey, what's up? I only have a couple minutes to talk. And they're like, okay. And it goes on like 35 minutes. You're like,
Sweating. You're like, I got a meeting to go to, bro.
I'm about to go to dinner with my wife. So, no.
Kevin, how's your day go, Kevin? I feel like you're always in meetings or like.
Well, I think for me, it's almost like you have to create a boundary so that your time becomes the most productive for your business, also for yourself, because nobody is thinking like you as the business owner, right? Nobody is gonna go out there and create business for you. You have a very important task to do, right? When you start, that is, you gotta call clients, you gotta prospect, and to me, prospecting means, hey, I gotta make a lot of calls. I gotta talk to realtors. I gotta talk to investors for money, right? If I don't talk to realtors or make calls to homeowners, I don't get houses to flip. If I don't get houses to flip, that means my contractors will not have a project to work on. That means escrow title officers, they will not get this transaction. That means Jasmine, the realtor, will not get another house to list. There's just by one transaction, we can feed so many people, and it comes to one person or a few people that are actually getting down to do the work. That's why, like, when somebody call me, it always goes to my voicemail, and I call that person back because I need to take control of my time. My time is so useful. I have a coach, right? A personal coach. He was just telling me that, hey, so he's trying to like take his business to the next level. He's actually he's hiring a coach to coaching how to
It's a coach with a coach.
become a coach in his business, in gym business. And he has clients coming in like all the time, and he was trying to block out this time, like 2 hours of his morning, just to study the course, just to have this time with his coach. And then there's this client that came in to pay him, and that 5 minutes of just interacting with that client turned out to be 45 minutes. And then another client came in, and then asked him to, hey, can you look at my body, my physique, and then see how I can change? And he said, you only got 5 minutes. 5 minutes turned to an hour. So his 3 hours of studying for his business was gone. And he got super upset. He told me this. He said, no more of that. I'm gonna block out my morning. Nobody's gonna, I'm not taking any clients. Okay, from 6:30 onward, from 6:30 to 9:30, it's time for me, myself, and my business. And it's for the betterment of my business and the betterment for my clients as well. I was like, yeah, exactly. You're right. That's what I started doing too. Is I time block my morning. From 9 to 11, I prospect.
That's your prospect time.
Nobody can call me. I call people. Okay, and I take control of that time. And then from 11:30 onward, you can call me. I'll answer and actually schedule all my calls after 11 o'clock. Actually 11:30.
Nice.
Yeah, it's either that we talk after 11:30 or you don't get to talk to me. Or today or the very next day after 11:30.
I gotta do that.
I thought you implemented that because whenever I call you,
Wait, is that
Mike, it's probably
like 10 hours
in the
later.
gym or
Yeah, I probably did that just on accident. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. He's a boss. He's a boss,
But you're also up hella early too, aren't you?
What's that?
Like,
Oh
don't
yeah.
you- yeah. What time did days start?
Like 3:30.
Dang.
Man, I'm an early bird, and I find that time like between 3:30 and I go to the gym at 5:30 now. I train 1 hour because that's my directive from my coach. He only trains us for 1 hour. We go in and out, and then he goes back and study his course for a good 3 hours from 6:30 onward. So we go there. That's actually good for me because we used to chit chat, and that 1 hour session turns into like 1.5 hours. Like I get super upset about that.
Yeah.
So right now, 3:30 to around 5 o'clock. Man, I got so much accomplished, during the wee hours of the day, because nobody bothers me. I don't have to worry about anybody that is going to call me, because sometimes there's like a lender that you're waiting on that call from a lender or some important person, because you need service from that person, right? It's not like, hey, don't call me. I need you to call me because we got to get this taken care of. And I need your prompt response ASAP, that kind of thing. So I will be waiting on the phone, but from 3:30 to 5, nobody works at that time. It's really your time, right? So that's the time like I get to accomplish the most. Like I'm the most productive. Yeah.
I find that too. Like if I get up early on the random Tuesday, then I feel like so good because like once you get past that, okay, I'm sleepy, groggy phase, you get up, get some caffeine or work out, then you just feel supercharged and it feels like you have more hours in the day to accomplish like the work. Yeah. It feels that way.
If you sleep in, you definitely don't have the hours.
No, you don't. You're already behind the ball. Like getting up at 9:10, you're like everyone's like already like the Kevins are up at 3:30. Drinking his coffee just like.
Hey, I tell you, by the time it's noon, I've already checked off everything that I needed to do for the day.
Yeah.
I can go and do whatever, and I'd be happy to hang out with you guys at a bar, taking up your time while I already check off everything that I needed to do for that day.
Yeah.
I get to bother you guys, chipping away your productivity.
I have my 5 hours of productivity every day because I wake up at 12 now.
That ability though to be disciplined in your boundaries, your time boundaries, that is super important. Yeah, because otherwise little things will eat it up. Little like unimportant things will really eat up your time. But you to be available to take that call of the lender or to be able to do your prospecting or to go find more business, like you're totally right. Like no one else can do what I do or what Josh does or what you do. And if someone doesn't do that work, then the business suffocates. That's the business's air. It's how it thrives. That's its fuel. So yeah, I tell my team that too. I'm like, look, I can't talk right now. You gotta schedule a meeting with me or call me later. Because a lot of times I'm on the phone with like another client or a potential client. People will call me randomly sometimes. It's usually new business. Yeah. So I have to make sure that I'm available to take those calls or to answer those emails, to be responsive because no one else does what I do in that regard. Like, I'm the best person on the team to foster new business. It won't always be that way, right? But for now, that's how the business is being fed. So that time is important for me to be able to be responsive.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta look at your hourly rate too, right? Like how much are you getting paid an hour?
Yeah.
As a CEO of the company, you're probably worth like $1,000 an hour. That's how much your time is worth. Yeah. You don't have to like do a $10 an hour job, right? That can either be deleted, delegated, or automated. It can be automated or delegated to.
What was that, DDA?
Yeah, DDA. Yeah, I mean, it can be delegated to a VA, right? That can totally do that for you. Yeah. You can do it once, twice, 3 times, but once you have, develop the process, you can actually outsource it, delegate to the VA to do it for you. Yeah. Or even like now we have ChatGPT, right? Yeah. AI, that can help so tremendously. Big time. AI, it's gonna take over the world.
It probably will, right? For better or worse.
Right. I'm ready to just delegate everything to AI.
Yeah. Just do my whole job. Talk to my clients, AI. Yeah.
Just get 100% profitability because it's all AI.
Hey, I was wondering how AI is going to help you guys as operators in the short-term rental business.
We already use it right now.
You guys use it? Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, like every time like for a lot of our business is driven through the acquisition of new properties, right, to manage or co-host, depending on how you want to look at it. So every one of those properties that we onboard, depending on what we negotiate as part of the agreement, because a lot of times we'll be designing it, but we also onboard it to the rental platforms. So with ChatGPT, like once I know what the logistics of the property are, I'll just plug in some basic formula into ChatGPT and it'll like kick out all of our property descriptions.
Yeah.
So just immediately, like within like 30 seconds, a full description for a 4-bedroom, 3-bed property, a rental home. I'll plug in like little things like make it 3rd grade reading level so it's easy for people to understand. At the end of the AI input, I had to tweak maybe a couple of things. Otherwise, before that, I had to sit down and type out, okay, this is a beautiful property and located in Sacramento, California. And like, it takes a long time to do that. So like those type of tools, I think right now they're still emerging for like public general use, but they're just gonna get like 10 times more advanced every year. And pretty soon, like they're not just gonna be based on like text support. It's gonna actually be able to do things for you, like actions. So I'm excited about it. You know, I don't think, is there a threat of it taking jobs or work away? I think it's gonna just make our work easier. Maybe that's selfish. But I think, it'll probably create different jobs, if anything.
So you still need to input certain things to get out the best.
Yeah, and it still needs to be improved and worked on, and changes will be made. So it'll just create like a different host of work that needs to be done. But for me, like with this boutique hotel, we're gonna plug it into ChatGPT and let it kick out the full description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool eventually for it to be able to talk to guests, especially like the random like Wi-Fi questions or how do I use this? It can actually pull in, real-time data.
A chatbot.
Yeah, like a chatbot for Airbnb specific. I've talked to a couple people who are trying to do that. But as of right now, I just copy. If a guest sends me a paragraph, I copy and paste because I don't want to read. No, I'm joking. I just copy and paste it because I want it to like sound better than what I'm really very forward during my messages.
Oh, okay.
So that one paragraph, I send back another paragraph that's ChatGPT that responds to it very nicely.
More calm and nice.
Yeah, and then I read it and I'm like, okay, this is what I got to do.
Like respond like a gentle human being.
Yeah.
And then you,
like perfect customer service. So that's essentially like very, small things that it can do. But I think pretty soon it'll be smart enough to take over like some aspects of operations, which would be crazy.
What about you? How do you use?
I feel like our creativity is going to be pushed to the next level, higher level. It's almost like, hey, content creation, right? You can outsource it to ChatGPT. You can have ChatGPT write a script for you.
That's true, huh?
A 60-second short script.
Right.
Okay. So someone's job is gonna be taken away. So how do you? How do you?
We talked about that. I will say those scripts, like the one you sent me earlier, I could tell because it'll have a sequence and then a body of text.
Yeah.
And then the sequence.
Yeah.
Like it's still formulaic.
Right.
So it's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Still have some time to figure something.
Yeah. It gets, I guess, the 60 to 80% of the job done. But you still need to go in and then tweak a few things here and there. But it saves so much of your time, 60 to 80%, right? Yeah. And you can add in, some variation, nuance to it, your personality.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a huge help. So I say it definitely elevates your level of creativity. It's bringing in another kind of perspective right into the picture that you never thought about before.
Yeah.
Right.
Never
Creating
thought.
a listing description. My God.
Yeah, I never thought.
That is a great help.
Dude, it saves so much time.
Yeah, and then having it to regenerate its response based on the adder prompt, right? Hey, just adding this thing and that thing. Make sure you also mention this, emphasize that.
I'll never go back to typing out.
Yeah, who could have done that? Like imagine hiring somebody from Fiverr, and then you had to go back and forth. This is I don't know, like a 7-day process.
Yeah,
You're
edit it all.
able to like shrink it to like, I don't know, a few seconds or a few minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Do this?
Few seconds. Yeah, I would say like 30 seconds. It kicks out a full description. Yeah.
Crazy, right? So just imagine that gig worker on Fiverr, his job is being taken away by ChatGPT, and there's gonna be way more of this going on, happening.
Yeah.
So we have to think, like these gig workers, they have to think outside of the box, right? So it's a different level of creativity or job descriptions that's going to be created as a result of AI.
Yep, I 100% believe that, and I think the people who are advocating.
That's better for humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because it's just pushing us to like just really focus on the highly creative task. Right, because we're not being bogged down by these like mundane whatever, like the must do before we can get to that, the next level of creativity.
It's almost like having a superpower. Because if you think about it, within human civilization, you have never had a power to bring on all the information of the internet and create something with it and within seconds.
Yeah, this is like a baseline for a new level of human performance when it comes to work. Yeah.
Superpower, man.
Yeah. People are like scared about it, but I'm like, that's purely, I think those largely people that are afraid of like change or like adapting or being forced to be creative and do some type of different work. Like that you can't be afraid of change, technologically or with your business. You can't.
I learned one of my the way that I learn is I watch YouTube videos. I pick up a lot of learning lessons from there. Now, like for a 10 to 20 minute video, I can ask ChatGPT to summarize the main points for me, the gist of a video.
Wait, do you plug in?
Create a tweet out of it.
What?
You can create a short form video out of it. You can ask ChatGPT to transcribe the entire video, and then you can perhaps just record another video with that same transcript.
So you plug in like a video to it, and it'll read the.
There's like a plugin, like Chrome extension.
Yeah, the extensions do a lot.
You can. It's just right next to the video. You just by a press of a button, it transcribes the entire like 20-minute long video for you, and then ask ChatGPT to summarize it. Wow. It'll give you like 4 points.
Now that I'm against. No, I'm kidding.
Is that copyrighted though? Like, I feel like if you did that, someone be
Talking
like,
about me watching that 20-minute video.
That's a lot of time.
Okay, and then there's so many videos I want to watch, and because I can learn so many from these videos. Just
That's true.
To 1 minute, and then I can see the gist of what the video is talking
Spark
about.
notes for life.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But it's crazy good though. That's like super helpful.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I will try that now.
Superhuman power. There it is.
Like faster learning than anybody else in the population. Just
Exactly.
quicker.
Now we don't need to put the disc in our brain. We could just summarize all
I
this.
know. Like a ChatGPT like eyeglass, like it tells you.
Yeah, the brain disc or chip will be maybe 10 years in the future or something.
Why do you think that's a threat, though?
No, I don't
Because Elon Musk is all against it. I don't know why. What's behind it? Why do you think that's a threat? Or do you think that's a threat
I don't think it's a
to
threat.
humankind?
I think eventually it could become sentient, which is scary. There are a lot, like Terminator. You have
There's
so
going to be a Terminator out there because someone's going to make one. Watch. Some crazy person.
There's already.
military, it's already on, bro.
That's the thing. That's scary. It's the people, the bad people who have bad intentions. We'll get a hold of that technology and do something
And it would create the fastest reaction time based on live data. It'll create, for the military aspect does scare me, but everything else is the services, operations, anything that has to do with capitalism our economy is going to really grow from it. But if you get, into the military and having people just have perfect robots and perfect minds in control, that's a lot of
Perfect soldier.
Yeah, perfect soldiers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just put an AI in like a, Terminator body.
Yeah.
My. Can't compete with the machine.
That's the part that would be scary, man. Yeah. I like the Boston Dynamics videos on YouTube.
You see the backflips and like the
That's
side
crazy.
flips?
See, you put
Just imagine.
you put the wrong chip in that thing. It's
Oh man,
yeah.
you can talk and take over your job.
The Tesla humanoid that does the same thing. I don't know.
I only saw like a picture.
Was it the really like realistic human
I don't know if
anatomy
it's
one?
realistic. Was it?
So I hate to ruin you guys' grade here. A lot of that is actually made by a CGI team, Corridor Crew.
No way. That is not a real robot.
There are some like
The Boston Dynamic,
I
yeah.
think that one's true, but you'll notice that's very and it's robotic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones where you see it like running through the Ninja Warrior course, like.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
Oh.
I've only seen the ones like in a closed facility where.
Those ones usually are real, but like the ones that go viral and everybody's like, oh my god, it's so advanced. Like, I
Yeah.
hate to break it
Now I
to
need
you guys, but
Now I need to see those ones. I haven't seen those.
Did you guys see the Spider-Man one by Disney Works?
that's cool.
It looks like a legit Spider-Man, and he does a flip. But that's all he does. He doesn't do like anything else. He just does a flip in the midair, and he lands like a human. It's pretty cool.
No, I haven't seen.
But it's I think that robotic aspect, man, like with deliveries, with like, anything that you would need like manually, like pretty soon we won't need boots on the ground, you know, like people to do things. It'll be bots. It really will be. Because at some point, a robot's going to be like a car where you can just buy it for like $20K and it'll do everything for you. Like go to the grocery store, it'll freaking, like.
It'll start your real estate investment business. And run it for you.
Like run security for you, kick out bad tenants.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Kick out bad guests.
Like RoboCop showing up.
Put in the coordinates, put in the address, and it just goes over there. You must get out. Like have it speak like Terminator.
Come with me if you want to live.
It's past checkout time.
It's 11 a.m.
Have you guys ever had to kick anybody out of your houses or your properties? Or?
Well, not lately. I mean, I feel like the measures that we put in place, the cameras, the sensor, and also the message before they check in to make sure that hey, we do have cameras, so this is not a place where you can come in to a party.
Yeah.
The initial screening extremely important.
Accountable tools. For sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
We haven't had to kick anybody out recently either. There was this one time though where these guests, I remember my team got so nervous because they checked in like really early before they were allowed to. And we saw on camera and they were like messaging them, the guests weren't responding at all. So then one of our team members had to actually go to the apartment to see like what was up. And it turns out they were like all on drugs. They were all like doped out.
The cocaine crew.
They were doing like line. You walk in, we have this beautiful huge mirror that you can see, obviously when you're getting ready and getting dressed. They had put it on the couch and there was just like lines all over the mirror. And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. So like they went over there and there was one guy there. They were like, you have to get out now. And he was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? We paid. But anyway, long story short, we had to just kick them out. We had to change the codes to the doors and just cancel their reservation because it was just all bad. They're like one that got through the screening cracks. And that's going to happen like every now and then. You're going to have some bad people that just get through it. Yeah. But like, it was just, that was like our worst situation for kicking someone out recently. Yeah.
I think ours was our unit in Florida. I was sleeping, got a phone call. The owner was like, hey, just letting you know, there's 40 cars in front of this place, police vehicles everywhere. The neighbors are freaking out. I need you to give this police officer a call. I was like, all right, cool. Gave the police officer a call. I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, yeah, there's a gang in your house here. They have thrown a block party. It has woken up this entire neighborhood. They have probably 40 guns. They have like everything that you can think of. And I was like, all right, what do you need me to do? They're like, we need you to let us in because right now it's like essentially a process to get inside the building without like the owner there. Like we need you or somebody to go down there. So I had to call my manager. She woke up, she went all the way down there, and then it was on the news. That was like, dude, it was like, it gave me like white hair. Like I was so stressed after that because it was like my third unit, you know? I'm like, cause I'm, you know, trying to expand into Florida before we moved there. So I was like, the next couple of days, like I was freaking out because I'm like, oh man, we're gonna get, you know, shut down entirely. I got a call from a detective. He was like, yeah, this happens. It's Florida. Like, get used to it. I was like, yeah, Florida is just different. Jacksonville is different. So I was like, I'm suspending operations there, focusing in California. Never stopped us though. Like that did scare me, but had the discipline to like, hey, we're gonna have 2-night stays, cameras everywhere. We're gonna have a message that goes out stating if you have any drugs or have a party, it's a $5,000 fine. That'll be added. I mean,
Scare them.
Yeah,
scare the
scare 'em.
bad ones away.
so, and now it's, you know, hasn't happened since. We haven't had a single party. So it's just one of those, it scared the shit out of me. So I'm gonna redo everything.
Now I'm scared of shit about anyone who wants to come here and do something bad. Yeah.
But I'm joking.
Yeah.
But,
You guys want to wrap up?